Have you heard of Minecraft? Well, yeah, because you're watching a Minecraft video, but what about modded Minecraft? Also probably yeah, 'cause this game has like a billion mods for it, but I've never actually played modded Minecraft before. So today I'm easing myself into it with just one mod. It's called Create, and pretty much what it does is it adds rotational energy to the game in the form of water wheels and windmills and steam engines, and that rotational energy can be used to power all sorts of different contraptions that help you in every single aspect of the game, and I absolutely love it. So without further ado, let's get started and go punch some trees. Punch some trees, mine some rocks, and I have all of the starting resources I could possibly need until I run out. I also found and looted a village, hence the compasses, and I've actually done a little bit of like just getting a starter base going. I hollowed out this weird little island, and I planted some potatoes. And by the way, this is the seed I chose. It is amazing. I love it. It's pretty much just this river that then opens up into giant cave systems on all sides. I think this one's my favorite just because there's a bunch of waterfalls and different pools of water. But it is absolutely amazing. I'm really excited to do a bunch of stuff with this. But now that I've gotten all of my starting resources up and in my classic double chest that will eventually get too full, and then I'll make another one and be in denial of making a storage room. But I have all the stuff to get started with Create, namely andesite and iron, because the main like building block of Create is andesite alloy, which is just iron nuggets and andesite, obviously, and we can get 4 for just that. And now we can actually start making the stuff we need to get like rotational power up and running. So andesite alloy can make things like shafts and stuff, and if I make some more slabs, we can go ahead and make I'm doing this wrong, aren't I? There we go. We can make a large cogwheel, and then if we surround that, we get a water wheel. Now, water wheels are not actually a super great source of energy, but like it works, you know, it'll work for now, and we could power like the basic machinery that'll let us get better stuff later on. I think I kind of like this. I feel like this corner is where it should go. So pretty much what you do with a water wheel, I'll just give a little bit of an example, I'll optimize it later, is you just run water by it. That was that now actually worked. Okay, so now it's spinning, and if we attach some shafts to it, it is also spinning the shafts, and then we can attach anything to this as long as the water wheel and its very small amount of torque can actually power it. It'll power it. But for now, I'm gonna optimize this water wheel real quick because this will probably power honestly nothing. There we go, the water wheel is spinning at maximum speed, and I've already gone ahead and made 2 things, a depot, which you can just like put items on, and a mechanical press, which does exactly what it says. It presses things very slowly because the water wheel is not that fast, but now we have iron sheets, which we can use to make some of the more advanced things in the Create mod. The mechanical press is kind of the first gateway, so that gives us a whole bunch of new options, but the main thing that I'm pretty sure is not going to show up in here, oh, it does, is the blaze burner. This requires iron sheets, but it's kind of very central to the Create mod. You get to go into the nether, capture a blaze, and then you get to use its fiery power for your own good. I can zoom in so it's only my forehead. That's insane. Anyway, we're going to go do that next, but obviously I don't really have a nether portal, but luckily, during my off-camera mining, I got diamonds, which means a nether portal is like actually quite easily within reach. So I'm going to spend these diamonds on a diamond pick, which is obviously pretty much always the first thing to do with diamonds. But I have to get some obsidian, and I don't actually know where any large amounts of lava are, like specifically, although I'm pretty sure there's a lava source. Ah, yes, right there. So I'm going to grab a bucket of water and go make some obsidian, because I don't really like doing the whole like make the lava puddle into a nether portal, because then I have to like go over there every time. At the same time, I don't really like the noise of nether portals, so I'm going to put it probably not in my little basement here. I think I'll just shove it over on this side of the island somewhere, just so the noises are not quite always in my ear. Water, lava, obsidian. Beautiful. Now I get the absolutely amazing task that everyone loves of mining 10 obsidian. I would say that was fun, but I don't think fun is exactly the right word. Anyway, we have 10 obsidian, so let's go make a portal. Probably a little bit of a weird place for another portal. It's kind of weird and out of the way, but that is exactly where I want it. So let's go see what the nether spawn is, because how close we are to a fortress is kind of important for me. Don't you dare break my portal. Don't you do it. 1 minute, I'm gonna deal with this guy. I'll be right back. There we go. Okay. Took me a couple tries, and there's a lot of fire now, and I no longer have a sword or an axe, I think, or a shovel. Really shouldn't have brought so much stuff in here, but not a horrible nether spawn. I don't see a fortress, but like we're also not in a basalt delta or Soul Sand Valley, so it's not bad. Although not being a Soul Sand Valley did not stop ghasts from harassing me. Apparently, I'm not really prepared to go find another fortress right now, though, so I'm gonna go fix that. Got a full set of iron armor plus some golden boots, just so the piglins don't bother me. Got food, I've got blocks, I've got the blaze burner, even have flint and steel just in case my portal gets destroyed. I also have a fishing rod, which we'll get to later if I need it. Essentially, I can, like, grab the blaze and pull it towards me, because I do actually have to get within range of them, and, they can fly, so I don't want to have to deal with that, pretty much. But I think I am all ready to go find another portal, which is probably going to take a while, so let's try doing this in the time-lapse. Well, I found a bastion, but I think I'm going to ignore it for now because those guys are terrifying, and also, it's not what I came here for, but I will come back and loot this thing later. Ooh, well that took less time than I thought it would. I've only been exploring for like 5 minutes and we got another fortress. Now all I have to do is find a blaze, and it seems like there are not any just kinda ambiently floating around like they tend to do. So I guess we're gonna go have to find a spawner, which was kind of the original plan, but you know, it'd be nice if there was just like one lone blaze just kinda chilling and I could capture him. So that would be nice and easy. But the game does not like being easy, and wow, there are no blazes here. I feel like normally these things are like crawling with them. I think it's because we're in a Crimson Forest, and that kind of takes up the mob cap on its own. But hopefully there will be a blaze spawner somewhere, because if I manage to get a fortress that doesn't have one, that would be, like, insane. Nope, there we go. Okay. Just spawn one, though. Like, that'd be... Oh, no, it didn't spawn. Okay. We're running. Got our blaze burner. Now all I have to do is get home. And we're back safe and sound, assuming a ghast does not snipe me right this instant, but it looks like we're good. Now we have a blaze burner, which unlocks so many things in Create, but mostly it unlocks brass, which is made by heating some zinc and some copper together with a blaze burner, and then you can build all sorts of stuff like that, but there's a couple of other things I need to set up first. That is a basin and a mixer. These two will allow me to actually make brass, and sadly my water wheel doesn't actually spin fast enough to power a mixer, so I have to use this little hand crank, but that's just fine. And now if we put some copper and some zinc in there, and we feed the blaze burner some coal, and we spin this little thing, we should, as you can see, it's mixing, get some brass. And now we're getting little brass particles, which means there's probably some brass in there. Let's see, yeah, we got 4 already. So I guess it's technically a 1-for-1 ratio. If for every ingot you put in, you get an ingot of brass out, but for 1 zinc and 1 copper, you get 2 brass, which is kind of nice, so it doesn't actually, like, reduce the amount of resources you have. But I've put in 8, and it shouldn't take too long, or 8 of each, so we'll get 16 out. Is that it being done? It is! So, we got 16 brass, and that's kind of that unlocking a ton of different stuff in the crafting tree. Like, I don't know if it's actually going to show any of it to me, but we have, like, brass hands, brass funnels, brass blocks that's not actually useful, but a ton of different stuff. But so far, I've kind of just been climbing the tech tree, but I need to actually have a goal, and that goal is going to be resource acquisition, because I'm kind of running out of stuff. I mean, I have a lot of just random junk, but I have 14 iron left, and I only have 6 zinc left, and while I could just go mining, I don't really like mining all that much. I mean, strip mining can be kind of relaxing, at least, but, like, just going in a cave and breaking some ores is a little boring to me, I guess. So instead, I'm going to make a boring machine. But, you know, one that breaks rocks instead of making me not want to play Minecraft. The only problem is, for a boring machine, you need a lot of drills. And the Create mod has this thing called a mechanical drill, and this is the recipe for it. It's not that bad. But I kind of want a lot of them. Ideally, I want 25 drills, so we get a lot of material from just, like, making one tunnel. And that's 25 iron. I don't have 25 iron, and that's not even talking about the andesite alloy that also requires iron. So, unfortunately, before I make a boring machine, I have to do the boring task of going mining. The resources have been replenished. I should have enough that I never have to go mining again. However, I still have to build the machine, so we've got a lot of work left to do, mostly crafting. Let's get into it. First is the deployers, which will place the rails and also place blocks for the rails to get placed on in case there aren't actually blocks there, in case we're going over like a big ravine or something. Next is the drills to, you know, drill. And lastly, we have the cart assembler, which is the thing that'll actually stick it all to a minecart. Let's go build it. Nice. So it's like done now, right? Well, actually, no, because if I go ahead and turn it on, it will assemble the minecart and pushes this up a little bit. You'll notice this no longer has the like thin black line around the edges of it that denotes it's the bounding block like you see on most things. It's just the thing you're targeting, but the rest of these blocks still do, because they're still blocks and they're not actually part of the entity. If I were to like push that, all that moves is that one block and it will like solidify if I break the minecart. And that's because none of it's attached together. So for that, it's like in vanilla Minecraft where you have slime blocks. In this, you have super glue. It's slime blocks, but it can stick things together without having a slime block there. So I could like stick all of this stuff together, and then when I turn this on, it will all be the minecart instead of just this one andesite casing. The only issue is slime blocks require slime, or super glue requires slime, and I don't have slime. Now, normally I would just go to a swamp and grab some slime like a normal person, but the Create mod actually adds in a different way for you to get slime other than just going to a slime and killing slimes. Pretty much, if I break some wheat out here, we throw it in the millstone, and then I twist it up a bit until we wait for the particles to go away. We get wheat flour. We actually get a lot of wheat flour, which I think is pretty cool. And if we were to combine this with water, we would get something called dough, which is, you know, dough. But then if we combine that with lime dye, we get slime balls. Only issue is I don't have lime dye, and I'm farther away from a desert to get cactuses for lime dye than I am from a swamp. So I'm just gonna go to a swamp. Plus, it shouldn't be too long of a journey, and I only need 2 slime balls, so I hopefully won't have to spend too much time there. Okay, slime's dead. I forgot to press the record button, so you don't actually get to see them die, but I'm about to die, so, you know, wasn't exactly my top priority. But now that we have that, I can go home, make some super glue, and finish my boring mission. So essentially, the way super glue works is you right-click your first point, and then you get this little selection box, and anything that is now in this box will stick together. So you kind of see that, like, better green outline. It shows everything. If I place something, it makes a little squelch noise with little slime particles, and that is all stuck together now. But that's only that bit, and none of it's actually stuck to this block, which is the important one yet. So we're going to make another selection to do that. So now the entire thing is stuck together. And it actually only used a tiny bit of my super glue, it looks like, which is really nice. I thought it would go down way faster. Because it only takes 2 slime to make this, so that is a steal. But I have actually not quite finished this, I think. So the way these deployers work is you give them a filter. So like this one's filter. This one's going to be placing rails. Now that will take these rails out of that barrel and place them right here. And this one should have a cobble filter, but I haven't put that in yet. And there we go. I saw some slime particles there, which I don't like, because that makes me think I placed a cobble somewhere. Okay, but anyway, that should have a cobble filter now. I believe it does. I suppose I have free cam, so I can check. Or not, because it's really fast. Yeah, cobble filter. So, if we put the cobble in there, it'll obviously amass more cobble, because all the stuff that gets mined
is going to go into these barrels, which is why there's so many of them. But if we turn this on, it makes a lot of noise because it just dug out the block in front of it. Now, as to how this moves forward, this is actually, if I go ahead and remove the minecart assembler. Okay, I've made mistakes. Several mistakes. Okay, 1 minute. There we go. Okay, so doing that unassembles it. These rails, or this rail specifically, that is part of the glue system, so we don't want that one there. But this one's all good because it's not in any of these 2 green bounding boxes. But also, I've just realized the way this moves forward is this is a furnace minecart, and when you give a furnace minecart coal, it goes. So I need to go grab coal. I've got the coal. Let's test this thing. I also grabbed a wrench, which essentially, if anything goes wrong, I can pick up the entire thing. And no, that's not broken at all. It's completely fair and balanced. But now, if I give this coal, it should just go. Yes. Okay, so I think it takes a second to mine the stone. It's not actually that fast, but, like, it's going. Also, I'm just gonna, like, turn that down just in case. I can't really tell. Yeah, no, it's a little bit loud, actually. We're just gonna put that down to 10. I suppose I should really be putting block sounds down as to make it, you know, a little bit better. So let's put that at, like, 5%, because this thing's kind of loud, because it's just a lot of stuff happening all at once. But it's going, and we're getting XP. I think this somehow counts as me mining the ores. This is something I'm afraid of. I'm ready to pick it up. I don't know what happens with the water. It looks like we're good. Oh yeah, because I forget what update they added it, but mine cart tracks are no longer broken by water, so I think we're just kind of good. I mean, you know, this is a very watery world, and I think that might be the only water. We'll see, but I was really thinking that would be a problem, although it does seem to the water seems to get extended by the minecart tracks, but it will stop eventually. It seems to have stopped there a little bit, and we're just going. Like, I can mine the ores in the side and stuff, but honestly, once I stop this thing with just the cart assembler, if I throw it on a rail, it will stop it because it's not powered. When it's not powered, it disassembles any minecarts that go through it. But, like, we should have a ton of ores already, like, just by now, because this is a 5x5 tunnel, and that's a lot of stuff. So I'm actually going to stop it. So if it moves forward... Why would you place in that direction, Mr. Minecart? What are you doing? Okay, I'm just going to break that then, I guess. But if we check these barrels... Well, that one has nothing. I have no idea how it decides which barrel to stick stuff in. But one of these barrels... should have mostly a ton of cobblestone, but also some ores. There we go. We already got 5 iron, some coal, some copper. It's going great. So if I run this thing for, like, a really long time, we get a lot of stuff. But also, I'm down to 19 rails. I don't have a lot. So I kind of need this thing to make iron, to make rails so that I can run this thing. It's a little bit of a recursive process there. But I think I'm going to go, like, take all of my iron and just craft rails, and I'm going to run this thing for, like, an hour or something. We'll see how much stuff we get. So I meant to do a time-lapse for that, but it didn't work, so I didn't. But I did do a lot of mining. This is significantly more than 1 hour. Pretty much, I just watched the entirety of one season of a TV show, and I did as much mining as time it took to do that, which is a lot. It was a lot. So I've done 4 tunnels here, and they all go on for ages. Like, you can't even see the halfway point with how far you can look in my current render distance. I think they're all 4 of them are roughly 1,000 blocks long. So that's a lot of blocks. But we don't really care about the blocks. The thing we care about is ore, and this is roughly what we got. I've smelted down a lot of the iron and not a single shred of the copper, because Jesus, I got a lot of copper. And honestly, it's less than I would have expected it to. Because this is with me not mining any of the ores that it exposes. I just let it run, and I take what it picks up. So we got, like, what? That's about 5 stacks of iron-ish. No, 4 stacks. And for just like digging a 5x5 for 1,000 blocks, that's actually not horrible. Because if you were to do a strip mine, you would probably get similar numbers, because anything that is exposed I didn't mine, whereas in a strip mine you mine everything you expose. So I'd say this is actually a pretty good haul. We got a decent amount of gold, we got a lot of zinc, and like I said, we got so much copper that I don't know what to do with it, which kind of leads to the thing that we're going to do in the next episode, because this one is approaching 20-minute mark, and that's about how long I like to make these. So for now, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.